What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Fire and Ice Combat Sports Podcast, hosted by yours truly, your boy Angel here, Ortiz. And look, you can follow me on all social media handles at Angel Ortiz MMA. I'm going to be bringing on my co-host here shortly over at Winchester Boxing, Michael Doman. But we're just going to kind of go through a couple things like that. Again, let's remind everybody it is time to put the children to bed. This is parental advisory, explicit content, strong language. We got a great show lined up. These fighters are raw and real, and they will definitely speak their mind. We don't hold them back. We don't keep them back. We just let them be themselves, and that's what we look forward to. Again, if you're not, hit that like button and subscribe. Come support the channel. You can donate to the channel. It helps the channel grow. All money goes back into the channel, which will help the channel continue to grow. We got a lot of stuff. This is a Miami-based show, but we are Miami sports-based show, but we do combat sports, which is obviously worldwide. So, but you can get all the other, if you love Miami sports and other content, you could definitely, subscribe and hit that like button, share with your friends. Become a member. Join us today. You get all the great Miami content, sports content. We talk about the Dolphins, the Heat, the Marlins, the Panthers, so on and so forth, and the Hurricanes, as well as all of the sports around the world. So please join us. It's a great part to be at Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. Each and every morning from 8:30 to, I believe it's like 10 o'clock if I'm not mistaken. But your host, Stephen D. SKPL, spread love and kindness. My man, Stephen D. with Clock Blockers, each and every morning at 8:30 a.m. sharp. My man is on and discussing all things Miami sports related. So especially these Dolphins. Please go out and support him, man. He's a great guy. None of this would exist without him. So again, let's, big shout out to Stephen D. if he's watching. Love you, brother. And let's get going here. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, the man with the plan, Michael Doman, the mad scientist.
Yo,
what's up, Mike?
What's up, dog? I'm letting you know I'm in my car right now because I just got off work.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the behind the scenes, folks. You're seeing it right here live. This is how it goes down.
That's straight. This is my 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. face.
It's a good looking face.
Cool. This is not cool, face. Bro. I'm tired, boss.
It's a good looking face, brother.
I'm tired, boss.
Black don't crack. Bro. You don't.
That's what they say, but I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss. I'm hoping I'm gonna get pulled over for having my light on in the car.
Hey, well, listen. How about we just go ahead and wait till you get settled and all that stuff, and bring you back on, so that way you can get home safe.
Let me. I ain't even got a seatbelt on, bro.
All right. Well, I'll see you in a few then.
All right.
So there you have it. Co-host wasn't ready, but we'll get to him here shortly, man. Hope everybody's tuning in. Say hi. If you're here, say hi. Let everybody know that you're here. Showing some love. We got a great lineup today, man. We got Keith Bad News Bell. This man has fought at CFFC, Shogun, Bellator. I mean, good God. He's been around the block a few times. He's going to be fighting. We got Brandon Malo Lambert, BKFC's bastard of bare knuckle, the controversy guy. We got to love him, man. He speaks the truth, and that's what we like. So, we look forward to having him on the show. And then we also have Scott Cujo Sigmon, fresh off his win this past weekend, and he's got some big news to share with all of us, man. So, tune in. Our first guest will come on about 8:30. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit. I was hoping Mike would have been ready so we can, discuss a couple things. But, come on up. I'm going to if you get a chance, come on up. If you want to go ahead and let's talk some combat sports, everybody. What's on everybody's mind? What's up, Kirsten? How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you turning into the show. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. We've had some great fights on the recent card, man. Again, I'm still excited about that Canelo Alvarez fight. Canelo is he's everything right now in boxing. I mean, he's the end all be all when it comes to boxing. He's just dominating everybody, and doing his thing out there in the boxing world, and you know, beat a solid Caleb Plant. Now, this is no knock on Caleb Plant. He put up a good fight for a couple rounds, but and he showed that he could be there. But this is Canelo, man. And now Canelo wants to move up in weight. He wants to move up in weight and fight at middleweight. So I think that's this man is nonstop. He wants to go as far as he can go and take as many belts as he can to continue on his undisputed reign as world champion boxer, you know. But he's got a couple guys waiting in the wings he should really take a look at. You know, I'm going to go with the Charlo brothers. Those two boys, woo, a lot of power there. Spencer Crawford, you know, that's a good fight to watch coming up. So, you know, you got that. We got some big fights in the MMA world. You know, a lot of call outs in the UFC. Right now, it was just kind of announced for a March card, the 100 current welterweight champion of the UFC, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Rocky Edwards. So, of course, the fight between Leon Edwards and Jorge Masvidal was a no-go. Jorge got injured in training, but this happens. This happens when you train at the highest level and you try to compete, you know. But yeah, that's a fight we're looking forward to seeing eventually. Maybe the call out between Conor McGregor and Jorge Masvidal. You know, what's everybody's opinion on that? We got a lineup, but please, yeah, come on, hit the comment section, hit the like button. Please join us and subscribe. You know, each time we dedicate a show to something certain, you know, we're going to dedicate the show. This is continuing Armed Forces Month, so we continue to dedicate the show to all our Armed Forces veterans and active duty military and reserves. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, Dolphins and Grizzle, let's go. Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Please, you know, again, hit the comment section if you're interested in coming on, saying hi. Let me know. We can get you to do that as well. But yeah, so we got some big fights happening. A lot of guys, you know, getting ready for fights. I know Scott Cujo, he's getting ready to come on here in a little while. He's got some really big news, which is I'm really excited about. It's a new beginning for combat sports. You know, we know about mixed martial arts, boxing, Muay Thai, kickbox, glory kickboxing, and then of course you have, you know, the bare knuckles and bare knuckle MMA as far as Gamebred's mixed martial arts promotion, which is Jorge Masvidal's promotion, which is a bare knuckle mixed martial arts show. But shout out to the regional circuit, man. We got to give a lot of shout out to a lot of these regional circuits. We got Lion fights coming up, man. We got a lot of great fighters coming up on Lion fights. I'll probably have a few. Our fan favorite for Fire and Ice Combat Sports Podcast is Chase the Weapon Walden. He was on our shows. Great guy. He is our Muay Thai liaison. He will be fighting at Lion Fights, man, in December. So, and we look forward to watching him fight. And that card's going to be pretty stacked. It's got a lot of talent on that card, that Muay Thai card. So, and American Muay Thai is starting to really take off. So, yeah, it's really, really great to see that guy. And we wish him well, and we hope he does well in his up and coming fight. Shout out to all the BKFC fans we've had. As you can see, I don't know, you probably can't tell, really. I'm kind of rocking Fighting is for Lovers. For those of y'all that don't know, this is the Team Beltran team shirt. Shout out to Joey and Britton Beltran. We will have them both on soon enough. Again, they're great to have on the show. Britton just won her fight against Pearl Gonzalez at BKFC. It was a great fight to watch. The ladies always bring it, man. There is no doubt, no matter what sport it is, whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai, kickboxing, the ladies always bring it. And I am excited. Hopefully we get a couple more female fighters on here, man. I've been talking to a few. We're trying to get them on. And that way you guys get a chance to talk to them and ask them any questions. Does anybody have any questions for me? Please feel free to ask me anything. Any type of martial arts question, any type of combat sports question. We got some big news coming up. We got Rocket Combat Sports coming up this weekend here in the Winchester area, Winchester, Virginia. It's Chris the Rocket Rollins. He throws a really, really good card. It's a Pro-Am card. He's got a lot of fighters on there. We've had a couple on the show already. Irish Anthony Wilson, he's stepping back into the cage again, mixed martial arts fight for his second mixed martial arts fight, professional mixed martial arts fight. So, we want to wish him well. He's been on the show, and I believe he's got a pretty tough opponent. So it should be a good fight for him. You know, both guys like to stand and bang, and this should be fun. And like I said, you know, shout out to Chris Rollins for always throwing a great show. It's going to be a great show that's happening. I'll have the best seat in the house, you know. So I'm looking forward to the event. It's going to be a great event to watch. And if you're in the Winchester area and you're watching, please come out, watch, support the man. It's a great show. We got some great amateur fights leading off, and then we got we got some pro fights coming on after that. So we got some great guys. We got Zaki Mushin out of Kaizen MMA. You know, we just had Ahmet Karetli and Zico on the card earlier. Ziad Lavashvili, who fights in the UFC. They all train out of Kaizen MMA, man. And those guys, Zika is actually going to be fighting at Rocket Combat Sports on the pro side. So it should be a good night of fights, man. We got some really great night of fights happening here. Let's see who's all on here today. Let's see who's checked in, showing some love. Guys, please hit that like button and subscribe. Share with your friends. Don't be afraid. Hit the like button and subscribe. Come join us. You could also, if you look down on the comment section, in the right-hand side, there's a little money $sign. You can click on that. You can donate to the channel. All proceeds go to the channel and helping the channel grow. Please like and subscribe. Become a member. Join us. Join us. Don't be afraid. Join us. But yeah, man, we got, you know, like I said, we got some great content. You can follow us, but especially for your boy, come out and support your boy over here at Fire and Ice Combat Sports Podcast and the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. You know, I'm always showing love. It's always about the you for me. Y'all know what it is. Fins up to everybody down in Miami, you know. But yeah, let's get it going. What do we got here? What do we have? What do we have? Let's see. It's a little bit slow on the chat board today. If you guys, again, have any questions, please join us. We got some great fights happening. A lot of really good fights happening coming up. Is there any fight? I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Is there any fight you guys are really interested in watching and, tuning into? Is there any fight that you really want to see happen? Which fight do you want to see happen the most? Whether it's boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, MMA, hell, super fights, grappling. We're going to be having some grapplers on here soon. We're also going to have an all coaches show. We're going to have an all referee show so you can get the inside of what refs have to deal with in combat sports, man. We're going to have some great referees that you know and love. So they'll be coming on the show here. We got some big shows coming up, man, for Fire and Ice Combat Sports Podcast. Next week's show is going to be a good one. We got the one after that. It's going to be a big show. Big show. That's a promoter show. We're going to have some of the top promoters in combat sports come out and talk and tell you what it's like to be a promoter in combat sport at a high level, because it's not easy. It's not easy being a promoter. I promote Fire and Ice Combat Sports, Fire and Ice Fighting Championships, and it's not easy. So, and that's just in the regional circuit. Guys that have been doing shows for a long time understand, they get it. And so we'll have some from the amateur circuit all the way up to the UFC and Invicta and Bellator. So, yeah, got some people coming on. Checking it out. As you guys know, I'm sitting here celebrating always. Got my bourbon ready to go. Got my water. You got to follow it up. You know, I'm sipping on a little bit of Buffalo Trace, but I'm going to follow it up with this deliciousness. I don't know if you guys can see it. There it is. Little Russell's Reserve. You know. Let's see. We got some great fights coming up. I know that the UFC is coming up this weekend. Let's see what we have here in the UFC. I'm going to pull it up real quick. This weekend's card should be really, really good. All right. I mean, as we know, Francis Ngannou is looking to fight in January 22nd in the UFC. That's going to be a good fight for him. He's fighting, Gane. Also on the card is the Moreno-Figueiredo 3 fight. The first 2 fights were crazy tough. Great fights. They went down to the wire, man. Brandon Moreno, Figueiredo 3. The first one, I mean, this is a trilogy match, man. And as you know, trilogies really set it off. But that's also going to be in the Ngannou versus Gane fight. So we got some really great fights on the card. We're looking at, let's see here. November 20th, that's this weekend. We got Vieira versus Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate returns. Miesha Tate looks amazing. Age has not defined that woman. She looks fantastic, and she's coming in to fight a very tough and game Vieira. Vieira? I guess that's how you pronounce it. But that's going to be a pretty good card as well to watch. You know, this past weekend, we've had some really good fights. You know, we had Rothwell versus De Lima. De Lima knocked out Rothwell. It was a good fight, man. The Holloway-Rodriguez fight, as y'all know, Holloway beat Rodriguez. It was a close fight, but man, Holloway is just unrelenting with his punching. You know, he just nonstop punching power. The guy puts up great fights, great fights. I got to say that one of my favorite fights for that weekend was definitely the Holloway-Rodriguez fight. I mean, that was a really good fight. That's probably my fight of the night if I had to choose a good fight for the fight of the night. You know. Well, we got some great fights lined up, man. The last pay-per-views, you know, Usman versus Covington. Usman defeated Covington, and it went the distance. But Usman did defeat Covington in a great fight. I'm still waiting on my co-host to come on. Guys, we're running a little bit behind here, but I'm waiting on my co-host to come on, and then our first guest will be coming on here soon. Rose Namajunas beat a tough Zhang Wei Li. I mean, that was a tough fight, man. That was a really tough. I mean, listen, the whole main card of UFC 268 was a dynamite fight from the very first fight on the main card. That Gaethje Chandler fight is easily and can be easily known as fight of the year. That is my vote for fight of the year. That fight, man, those two guys stood in front of each other and just slugged it out, and it was amazing. But they also, you know, tried takedowns as well and used jiu-jitsu to get back to their feet. It was a really, really great fight to watch, man. But not to be outclassed. Let's be honest here. That was a really good fight after that. The Burgos versus Cortillo fight. That was another barn burner, man. Those two guys stood there and they traded it out. That would have been fight of the night. If it was, in my opinion, that should have been fight of the night as well if you were splitting fight of the night. But, I mean, of course, Gaethje Chandler. And then, you know, the Frankie Edgar, Chito Vera, man. Chito Vera with the crane kick to the face of Frankie Edgar, man. That was – and I had Frankie Edgar winning every round in that fight. I had Frankie Edgar winning that fight until he got clipped. So, and then obviously Namajunas fight and the Usman Covington fight, which were all great fights, man. Any of those fights could have been fight of the night on any other card. But yeah, that whole main card, I had to say UFC 268 was literally one of my favorite main UFC fight cards on there. So, what do we have? Oh, the UFC, big news here. The UFC just honored with the Forrest Griffin Community Award 2021 for Max Holloway. He literally just so congratulations to Max Holloway. He just won the Forrest Griffin Community Award for supporting his community. So that was really, really cool. Who do you have this weekend? Miesha Tate or Vieira? Who you have? Chime in. Let's see. Let's see. Who's all... Got some viewers watching. Shout out to everybody that's supporting the channel, man, that's coming out to watch. Again, what do we have? Quiet crowd today. Got a quiet crowd today. Again, we just want to remind everybody that once these fighters come on, they're going to speak their mind. Please, again, parental advisory, explicit content. Want to remind everybody about that. Also, want to go ahead and give a re-shout out to the United States Marine Corps, Semper Fi, to all my fellow Devil Dogs out there. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday if I missed some of y'all. But yeah, we definitely want to show y'all some love and kind of get everybody going again here. Again, if you haven't, and if you get a chance, please tune in each and every morning for the Clock Blockers sports show with your host, Stephen Daniels. Great guy, great show. Discuss a lot of fans, a lot of supporters like that. That is the #1 Miami Dolphins fans show. So please tune in to Clock Blockers each and every morning. Again, hit that like button and subscribe. Share with your friends. Tune in. Looks like my co-host is getting ready to come on here in a few. We will be discussing let's take a look at what big fights are coming up. So, as we all know, what's everybody's favorite heavyweight fight that they want to see in boxing or mixed martial arts for that matter? Who do you want to see next? That's the question we want to ask everybody. We got some really good cards coming up here. So coming up, we got on the Miesha Tate and versus Ketlin Vieira. Ketlin Vieira. That's her name. All right. We got a pretty good card, man. We got Davy Grant fight in the bantamweight division. We got Davy Grant fighting Adrian Yanez. We have Joanne Calderwood versus Tyler Santos in the women's flyweight bout. Ooh, that should be a really good fight, by the way. I love JoJo, man. That girl can fight. In the bantamweight bout, we have Ronnie Yaya versus Kyung Ho Kang. That should be a good fight. And then everybody's favorite commentator, Michael Chiesa, is fighting Sean Brady. That should be a really good fight. And then, of course, you got the Ketlin Vieira versus Miesha Tate fight. And, of course, those fights, I believe that's on the regular. Yeah, it's UFC Fight Night. So if you have ESPN Plus, that's the only way you're going to be able to watch it. So be able to get it on ESPN Plus. So go on ESPN Plus and subscribe. Subscribe to ESPN Plus, and then you're able to get all the UFC fights, UFC Fight Nights, and etc., and all the prelims prior to all the main pay-per-views and stuff. This fight's going to be Saturday, November 6th at 6 p.m. at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. So again, a great card, man. Great lineup. Got Keith Bad News Bell in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll be talking to him here in a little while, before long. But yeah, great card. It is a great card, Keith. You are correct. I really like that card. It's going to be, and I believe that's not even including some of the prelims on it. So that's just going to be a great card. What's up, guys? The Vikings here. What's up, Viking Fit Go Now? Shout out to you. Erson asked a question. Chandler stated that he would have fought smarter instead of slugging it out. What strategy would that have meant? I think he would have gone after, that's a good question, Kirsten. I think he would have literally tried to go out and use more of his wrestling. I mean, Gaethje's wrestling is really good too. I think if he would have used his striking to takedown to bring it back, to get back to his feet, maybe try to even go for a submission. That probably would have, panned out. But he just really didn't have the time, the timing correct for Gaethje. I mean, Gaethje just had too much reach, and Gaethje wouldn't go away. I mean, there was times where I was a little worried about Chandler because he took some shots, man. But Gaethje took some shots too, and Chandler, they both just kept coming, which is what made it a really good fight. All right, it looks like our first guest is here, so I'm gonna bring him on a little early since my co-host isn't here yet. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off his win this past Saturday, we have Scott Cujo Sigmon. What's up, Scott?
How you doing, Angel?
What's going on, brother? Mike is apparently still trying to get ready to get on, so he's not here yet. But
that's the guy that don't know shit about boxing.
Oh, come on. We gotta discuss that. He'll be here soon. But we love it, man. Scott, congratulations on your victory this Saturday. You look unscathed, like nothing happened to you. I mean, did you even fight this weekend? What happened?
Yeah, I wish, man. That four-round pace is horrible. After I fought 50 consecutive fights that were almost exclusively 8s and 10 rounders. So you bump down to that 4-round fight.
It's just nonstop fighting.
Yeah, it's a blistering pace. I'm kind of glad I got that shock to my system going into what I'm getting ready to go into again next weekend. I was actually pretty discouraged having to fight so fast. I came back to the corner after the first round. I was like, man, I don't ever want to do this again.
It's not easy, man. I'm going to be honest, especially fighting at the level that you fight. Your opponent was a game opponent, man. You guys literally stood in the phone booth and just let your hands go. It was a good fight to watch. I mean, there was a couple times you caught him, you backed him up against the ropes. He seemed a little flustered at times, but then right back to it. He landed a couple of good shots, and you guys were right back in the middle, letting your hands go. What was your mindset going into this fight, and how did you feel while you were in the middle of this slug match right in the center of the ring?
Well, so I came out. I was going to make the fight really slow paced, and if you watch the first 20 or 30 seconds, I came out feinting, establishing my jab, and he threw his wild wing and hook and it hit me on the elbow, and it didn't really affect me or hurt me. It didn't even land clean. But I thought to myself, man, it would be really easy to get outpointed in a fight this short. And then it just all went off the rails from there. There wasn't any boxing after that. It was just nonstop punching.
Fit Go Now, aka the Viking, says it was an amazing fight.
Oh yeah, he was actually Chris was the commentator for the event. I can't wait to get to watch the YouTube video when it comes back up. I love that guy as a commentator. Chris is, I definitely think he's one of the undiscovered talents in commentating, or maybe doing a podcast or something. I love that guy. He fought on the show also. He had a first-round knockout, I believe, heavyweight.
Oh wow! So he fought on the show and then color commentated the fight.
Well, when I've heard, well, he didn't get to commentate the first time I fought for Southpaw Promotions, and I've always been impressed with it. He was like maybe the MC or something. He interviewed me after the fight, but so I was excited because I figured he was going to do this one, and then I found out he was fighting on the card, and I throw a hissy fit. I'm like a bridezilla when it comes to fights now. So I told the promoter, I was like, man, you got to put Chris early on the card, man. I want that guy commentating my fight, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. I want him to be the one calling it. And he got it done. I got in the ring and I seen him sitting there, and I was very happy, very pleased.
That's awesome. Hey, shout out to the Viking, man. Glad you were able to join us for the show today. But yeah, so you said you were starting it out on a slow pace.
Well, I tried. It didn't work.
You tried. Well. It didn't. Obviously, it didn't work. What made that change during that fight? What made that change? Was it something that was because he hit you a certain way, or what was it about? What was it about? You really didn't take too many shots. I didn't see too many shots. Really
not head shots. You get 50-some fights against some of the baddest men in the world. It's a matter of survival, adopting some defense of your head. It comes down to experience. I've got tons of experience in 8 and 10 round fights, lots of experience, but you get that short fight. And there was some panic there, I think. Maybe not panic. I mean, maybe that's a strong word, but there was some worry or some anxiety that, the fight could slip away from me if I was trying to wait him out and set up big shots. So, I've got to watch the first round on somebody's Facebook Live. I mean, I look good. I look like I was throwing good combinations and whatnot. So hopefully it didn't look get any worse in the second, third, and fourth round.
No, I mean, I thought, it really looked, I don't think it looked like you were even remotely tired. It just looked like you were just nonstop throwing punches. Like it was, and I could see the guy get flustered and get tired a little bit, and he was starting, and then you would catch him and he would just back up against the ropes, and then you knew that you had him, but then you just kind of like, okay, I'm just going to keep him here. I want to be cautious because I don't know if maybe you had the other fight that you're getting ready to announce here on the back burner or what was going on, but I just looked like you just kept the fight at a decent pace at your own will. Really,
it was just I definitely didn't carry the guy. I was doing everything I could to discourage him. I mean, I hit him with a really good body shot. Maybe it was the second or third round. He threw an overhand right, and I slipped under and threw a right hook to the body. I hit him right on the solar plexus, and I can't believe I didn't take the fight out of him. I guess it was just a little bit of shock. The 10-round fights are probably more like a 5-mile run, and this is more like an 800-meter race, like that kind of pace. So it was just taking my wind a little. It wasn't the same kind of fatigue as you get in a long fight. It was a lot different. But like I said, it's 4 3-minute rounds, and I'm getting ready to go into a 7 2-minute round fight. And there's a lot of unknowns in that. I trained in the glove that we're going to be fighting in that. I was told it was going to be an 8-ounce MMA glove, but it's actually ended up being a 7-ounce MMA glove by Hayabusa is what the fight's in.
Wow, never even heard of that.
Is what it's in now. So, I mean, I don't know what it could change. I don't know. I mean, Mike Perry's opponent's already changed twice. They must not like him from what I'm seeing because he started out with Saki Obika, who, I mean, I would never want to fight that guy.
All right, so before we go any further, hold up. Before we go any further, you got some big news. So obviously, you just fought this past weekend, and now you're getting ready to fight again here in a couple weeks. Let everybody know what we're talking about right now.
Okay, yeah. So Triller has launched this. It's basically MMA fighters versus boxing fighters, and they call it leveling the playing field.
Okay.
Now, that's their slogan. It's called Triad Combat. So everybody looks at it, they're like, "Oh, it's everything's favoring the boxer," but really, it's not. So I'll explain it to you. So first, we're fighting in the triangle. This 24 by 24 by 24. The square footage is slightly more than a 16 by 16 foot ring. I definitely think that favors the MMA person because boxers like to slow fights down, and that's going to make the fight faster. We're fighting in an MMA glove. Although it's a slightly larger MMA glove, it's still an MMA glove. So the MMA glove and the boxing glove, they differ. The boxing glove is actually much thinner through the knuckle. So you can generate more force while landing a punch with the boxing glove. However, the part with this glove that is different for me or maybe not scary, but concerning is the volume of the glove around the thumb, the wrist, which is larger, which is actually what helps a boxer with their defense. So, I mean, I'm going to have to either block with my wrist or open palm. So I think that favors the MMA fighter. They've been used to open hand parrying. They're not going to break us in the clinch. Now I can fight in the clinch well, so I don't think it's going to be a major impact to me.
I was just getting ready to say, have you ever fought in the clinch before?
Yeah. I'm really good at dirty boxing.
Okay.
Now, I think to a degree, especially against these elite fighters that I box against, I try to, like Lionel Thompson said, I was like he was trying to play. I was trying to play rugby with him. I mean, he boxed the piss out of me. So some of these things that I have concerns about, the half tie plum, the headlocks, the waist cinches, we already do over and under hooks in boxing, but they usually break us quicker. But I just got to realize that break's probably not coming unless we both agree not to break. One thing I did spar in these gloves a little bit, and with these rules light with one of my sparring partners, because you can hammer fist, you can backhand, you can spin and back fist. One thing I found.
Wait a minute. You can spin back fist?
Yes.
Wow.
And you can't stomp someone's foot, but you're allowed to stand on it, which is something I also already do in boxing, even though it's illegal.
Right. All right. So hold up, because some of these rules are crazy. All right. So let me see. You can basically strike every type of MMA way. You can't throw no kicks, obviously.
No,
right?
no,
There's
and no
kicks
elbows, no elbows. Or
no
anything.
elbows
so
and
basically,
no kicks.
it's
No knees.
no knees. It's any part of the fist, any part of the fist. And they.
What about open striking?
No,
with your hand.
no.
Okay.
And they're very liberal on the holding while hitting. So basically, the way I'm looking at it is it's kind of like the bare knuckle rules, except even less breaks. I mean, that's a good way to look at it because they still do break in bare knuckle. So from what I've understood from reading the rules of triad, it's almost exactly like bare knuckle, except you can stand on a foot, you can spin and back fist, and if somebody's trying to punch, they do not break any clinch for any reason. It looks like you can even, if a guy ducked down, you can headlock them. I'm going to have to ask the referee there for clarity of that because I'm not sure how the hell you're supposed to get away from that.
Where's this event happening at? Who's sanctioning this?
The Texas Commission. It's happening at Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas, where the Rangers play. Awesome. I know Frank Mir's fighting Kubrat Pulev in the main event. That should be pretty easy work for Kubrat Pulev.
So Kubrat, that he's obviously a heavyweight boxer. I'm guessing.
Yes. He just most recently fought Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, because Frank, I'm gonna be honest. Frank Mir, nothing against Frank Mir, but he's not the greatest striker.
He didn't look bad against Steve Cunningham. I mean, Steve Cunningham was a cruiserweight, and he had been out for a long period of time. Also something else about this card that I haven't let you know. So it's all MMA versus boxers, except my fight, which I'll explain to you in a second. I always get the short end of the stick. But so whichever side wins the most fights, that team gets 10,000. Now that's Sweet Pea Whitaker, but that's thank you very much for the compliment. But Sweet Pea Whitaker is the greatest boxer.
I agree.
Man, y'all got to stop Facebook messaging me now. Comment on this. So if it's 7 fights and if there's a draw or whatnot, the tiebreaker is the main event, which is Pulev versus Mir. So Pulev will win that fight. Like I was saying, Mike Perry, he was fighting Saki Obika, who's a killer. I mean, I would hate to fight him in a boxing match, and especially in this. So Bika pulled out, and they put, or for whatever reason, that fight didn't materialize. Now he's fighting Michael Seals. And man, Michael Seals, that's a scary fight too, man. That's a massive puncher against Mike Perry. I mean, I texted the matchmaker today. I was like, man, y'all got a vendetta against Mike Perry or something. I mean, I like Mike Perry. I hope he does well. I'm not hating on him, but I thought
I like Mike Perry too. He's a controversial guy. What's not to like about him? But I'll tell you what, the guy you just mentioned, I've heard of and is scary.
Yeah, he's a big puncher, especially with that little glove on. So started out, they called me. I called them because I was looking for Tony Holden's number, who is part of the MVP promotions for Jake Paul, and I wanted to see about the Jake Paul Tommy Fury undercard because that kind of works with my schedule. And I was just like, man, look, these guys aren't paying me anything in boxing anymore. I'm thinking about hanging it up. He was like, well, would you do something that was not boxing? I was like, well, I mean, I'm interested. I mean, I'm not doing MMA. Ain't nobody going to choke my ass or anything. So he explained to me the rules slightly, and then he sent me the rules, and I read it, and I looked at the potential glove. So I took the fight. It was originally with Leonard Garcia. I mean, it was a decent payday. It wasn't nothing great, and nothing against Leonard Garcia. If it was a cage fight, if it was a Muay Thai fight, I'd probably have more respect. But, I watched some of his MMA fights, plus Leonard's older. My time's running out too. I mean, I'm already slowing down. I'm 34. Leonard Garcia, he was a former UFC fighter, so I don't want to disrespect him. He made it to the highest heights of his sport, but he's 42. So he's slower.
He's fighting BKFC as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and I watched him do that. And, I mean, that's a fight I would have won with the jab. That's it. I mean, that one punch, I would have won the whole fight. And his people around him explained to him that it wasn't a good fight, and he didn't do it. So I was like, all right. So they offered me Derek Campos from Bellator. I watched Derek. Much more difficult fight, very energetic, wild. It would take me it would be difficult to defuse that kind of a bomb in a short fight. But the fight's at 65. So I was like, hey, would you be willing to move the fight up to 70? So they went back to him, and then all of a sudden, boom, he's matched with somebody else and not fighting him. So then they're like, well, one of the main guys. I don't know if it's Perry or Mir or Mitrione. I'm not sure which one of the top guys. The guys above me on the card. One of them took like a huge pay cut to get their guy Albert Tumanov on the card. He's like, "Well, will you fight this guy?" So I was like, "All right, let me look at him." So I looked at him. He's looked pretty impressive in the UFC videos. A lot of people consider him to be the best boxer ever in MMA. I found out he's a master of boxing in Russia, and his younger brother is like a multi-time amateur champion. And supposedly, this guy has over 100 amateur boxing matches. So,
wow.
So I called back. I said, "Man, look, this is supposed to be MMA versus boxing, but now I'm fighting a guy that's better boxer than me." And then he was like, "Well, what do you got to do? What do I got to do to make it right?" I was like, "Pay me triple." And he was like, "All right, done." And so here we are. So I'm going to fight a MMA fighter that is also a very accomplished amateur boxer. In I mean, I would say he probably has every advantage in this, if I had to guess.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think the advantage would be in the fact of knowing the glove. Knowing how to fight in that glove,
especially since he has that deep amateur background in boxing. Right. This isn't like I'm going into these guys that have just been striking with other MMA fighters. Now, I've watched this video. He definitely is a lot more upright than a boxer, at least now. But he's been fighting MMA. I mean, I think he's 21-4, 18-4 of those are in the UFC, and I think he's young too. He's like 28 or 29. So the guy's a phenom. Plus, anybody from Russia, that just sounds scary.
Just tough guys, man.
But yeah,
you have to put that red, white, and blue on your back and go in, buddy.
He looks like he's a really good kicker, though. I've seen a lot of head kick knockouts from him, and I mean, you got to be carrying your balance a lot different than a boxer to do that. Yeah. So,
in MMA, the striking wise, in my opinion, the striking wise in MMA is you're a little more square, where in boxing you're a lot more bladed. So, I think, when it comes to the boxing, again, I think you'll still have the advantage there. But the advantage for him would be, again, knowing the glove. How to block with the glove on, how to move with the glove, how to punch with the glove, like just all that. So that's just something that you could probably take a look at into consideration. Because
it is a little unnerving, man, to have those gloves and put them up in front of your face, and there's huge different holes there. Yeah,
it's different. It's like when I spar. I still spar. I'm 46 years old, but I still spar with some of the guys at the gym from time to time. And these guys, it's different. You got 16-ounce gloves. You're going and you're sparring and you're working, and it's really not. You're not really hurt. But then you put the 4-ounce to 6-ounce MMA gloves, and it's a completely different thing when you're like, "Oh shit, punch got through, bang." So
So one thing I did notice was it didn't feel immensely different being hit around the head in the glove, but man, getting punched in the body, that shit is horrible in those little gloves. I guess because the surface area is smaller, so it's more puncturing, like a nail or a knife hitting you or something.
Yeah. Plus, you got to watch out with your wrists. The wrist is always a big problem with MMA gloves.
Yeah, these the gloves they sent me, the Hayabusa ones that we're supposedly fighting, have a really good wrist support. Yeah, me too. It probably pays more.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, first of all, let's give a shout out to everybody that's tuning in, watching, man. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Thanks. YNG Doss, appreciate you tuning in. Fit Go Now, tune in. Please share and hit that like button, man. Subscribe. Tell everybody about the show. If you could hit that like button and subscribe or join us on the YouTube channel, that way we can keep allowing Fire Nice Combat Sport. We can have great content with great fighters coming on the show like Scott. So, Scott, you're going into this ring, which is a little bigger, obviously, than your normal boxing ring.
Nah, actually, it's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not bigger?
Nah, because 18 by 18 or 20 by 20 is what you compete in.
Right. So it's a little smaller then.
Yeah, it's probably got like 30 some less square foot.
Wow. So you're going to be going into this fight. So obviously they're looking for more action right off the top, right?
Yep.
That's why it's shorter. So the pace is going to be a lot. It's probably going to be a sprint for most of these guys, I'm guessing, especially for the MMA guys.
Well, he looks more like a counter puncher. He kind of sits and waits. I've seen heights listed from 5'9" to 5'11", so hopefully he's 5'9" in my height. It looks like he looks for like a right hand over the top or a left uppercut. He's he doesn't look real impressive on the mitts in the bag, and he doesn't look really good when he throws one punch at a time. But once he times you, if he hits you, he's very explosive. He puts punches together really well. I'm thinking he's going to let the fight be slow, and if that's the case, I'll be slow with it as long as he'll allow it. I don't think he's going to box well with me like that, though. I think.
And how many rounds is this fight?
7 2s.
Oh, you get 7 2-minute rounds.
Yeah, and then some of the higher fights on the card are 9 2s, and the ones under us are 5 2s. But I feel like he'll probably only let me box for like 2 rounds, and he'll realize I'm outpointing him, and then he'll probably start trying to mix it up. But I mean, like I said, I'm glad I went to that 4 round.
I was just getting ready to say there's got to be some type of comparison there with that 4-round fight to fighting this.
Oh yeah, it's good because if he wants to drag it into a fight, I'm training a little different now. I realized what I was doing isn't good enough for the sprint type pace. Another thing I've adapted really well rapidly is the fact that they can hammer fist in this. I've never thrown a hammer fist before, but you know how people hook off of a jab in boxing. I really like to hammer fist off of the jab.
Okay.
I'm not sure why. I've never seen an MMA fighter do it or anything. Maybe it's because they're worried about the takedown or something.
Well,
but
usually the hammer fist for us is when somebody's on the ground and we're beating them up on top.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is it's got a lot of potential to be a huge scoring blow in a fight like this with this rule set. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, he might take that away from me, but I'm gonna try to come out and beat his neck in a little bit, like a whack-a-mole.
So, what are you doing different to prepare for this fight?
Shorter rounds, harder rounds, a lot less, a lot more burnout type stuff, box jumps, things like that. Short, fast-paced
explosive stuff.
Yeah, just in case. I mean, I just had a whole camp. I was actually preparing for a 10-round fight, and then right at the last second, I got this and moved it to a 4. So I just had a whole camp with the feints and setting the traps and the defense and the timing. So, I only got 6-7 days left now before I leave to get ready for that shorter fight. So it's already built into me if it's a slower paced fight. So I just got to make sure I'm conditioned if he turns it into a sprint.
And so you guys are fighting for 7 rounds. You're obviously using MMA type style gloves. Oh, well, they're MMA gloves. They're just a little heavier. What is the biggest difference and change that you're expecting coming out of that fight?
What do you mean, like
with the gloves on?
Man, I mean, just the holes that the gloves can fit through. I can still shoulder roll it, so I practiced that some. So the glove's not so small you can't shoulder roll it. I mean, I definitely am not going to enjoy getting hit in the body with them, I'm sure.
Are you practicing your spinning back fist?
I'm not gonna do that. I mean, I don't even feel like. See, I don't feel like that's a realistic strike to throw in this, right? I mean, there's probably very special opportunities, but I feel like if there's no ability to kick, that punch isn't going to work super well, unless, like, let's say I get the angle on a guy and the guy acts like he's going to step out on me, and I go to follow, then he could spin real quick and catch me with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that would work, but just from if we're mano a mano, I don't think that guy's going to pull a spinning back fist off on me. If somebody can't hit me with the regular hook, how's he going to do that?
Could this be the beginning of seeing Scott Cujo inside the cage at some point?
Oh, hell, that's definitely not going to happen. I think
you're not going to follow James Toney, my man.
Nah, I don't think. I've always thought MMA guys and boxing guys should just stay in their lane. I mean, every now and then, you got guys who could probably cross over. I mean, I think that both the Diaz brothers could be great boxers. They had a lot of sparring with Andre Ward, so they had to be pretty good. I know the casual fans are going to eat this sport up, and maybe it takes off, maybe it doesn't. They love MMA versus boxing for whatever reason. I think Dana White used that feud early on, although he has got a lot more respectful towards boxing recently. I doubt you ever see me box again. You might see me do this 1 or 2 times. It's going to depend on what Triller does. Triller might put me in a boxing match again. I mean, they're taking really good care of me, but man, I don't want to do this anymore.
Really? Are we seeing towards the end of Scott Cujo's great career?
I mean, I felt this way for a long time, and I always get sucked back in. But I mean, I've been feeling like this pretty consistently. I mean, I felt like this during my last fight. I don't really. I loved I love certain aspects of it, man. But just the fire, the always I used to always be on, man. I was always on, right? Like somebody, oh, you suck on Facebook or this hater. I'd make the fight to prove them, to prove to them wrong. But
Right.
um, yeah, I mean, and I'm really excited to see how Austin Deonda continues to grow. He just had a tough test over the weekend. He's 4-0 as a pro. Now at only 18 years old, he's only been in the boxing gym for slightly more than a year. His second week in the gym, he sparred a guy that had 18 pro fights and just crushed him in sparring gloves. So I knew the kid was special then. And I don't know if you watched any of the undercard on the show where,
no, I
where
didn't
he
get a
fought.
chance because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching your fight from a USA boxing event up in Ocean City. So
Okay.
we were at a USA boxing.
Oh, Jake Smith show.
Yeah, and so we were up there, and we had a couple guys from Winchester Boxing on the card. So
did Vinny Pass come to that?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I bet him and Jake turn up.
Yeah, I mean, so I was looking forward. I'm actually. I had a chance to speak to him. I was trying to see if I can get him on the show here in the next coming weeks, but it'd be good to talk to him too. But yeah, it was a good show. A lot of some decent fights on that card. But like I said, I was glued watching you fight, my man, right there.
I wish Jake would come back and do some pro shows instead of always just doing amateur shows now.
Yeah, we definitely would like to have some more pro boxing shows. I know there's a pro boxing show coming up in December in Virginia. I just don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, so going to that, we want to touch on some of this. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not. So, I mean, obviously, I would say there's a high likelihood, probably 75% chance anybody looking at this screen, me or Angel, we're gonna be running boxing in Virginia. So, but I mean, at least for the sake of boxing in Virginia, at least. So, of course, the travesty of what happened to Rocket Combat Sports, and then they allowed two guys to come to Gretna and took dives. I mean, there was nothing against. I mean, I don't want to say nothing about the guys that were in the fights. They earned. They did put the training in, but their opponents didn't show up. But the DPR wants to act like, a 22-4 can't fight a 12-4. So actually, that show that's in December, James Hogan, I seen him down in Carolina. And he called me Monday. He's like, Cujo, man, look at this. Look at my card real quick. So he had a 4-0 versus an 8-16. 8-16 has fought nothing but undefeated guys in his last 8 fights. So they had approved that fight several months ago, but the 4-0 guy got injured. Okay. So they postponed it. Neither guy's fought since then. This fight was already approved. So neither guy's fought since then. It had been approved. Look at this. Good grief. So yeah.
You're blowing up, Scott.
So
you're blowing up, baby.
But so the 8-16 and the 4-0 guy, neither guy had fought since it had been approved. It was postponed because of a hand injury. Then they didn't approve the fight. But neither guy had fought. So anyways, right. I got in on them on that. And then apparently it was approved. So the next fight is a 12-3 guy, Mac Allison, versus a guy, I think now the guy's got a horrible record. It's 8-43. But hear me out all the way. They didn't approve this fight, a 6-rounder. The 8-43 guy's only been stopped twice, and in his last outing in Florida, upset a guy that was 20-2.
Because he's a game fighter.
Yes, he upset a guy that was 20-2. He's fighting a 12-3 guy that's been in softer. This is a step up for him. This guy's a major test, a veteran, been in with the 8-43 guys coming off with a guy 20-2 that he beat. They did not approve that fight.
Are you serious?
They did not approve that fight. But I mean, I sent them an email. I mean, they got guys fighting in swimming trunks, but that's against the regulations. They got guys fighting in tennis shoes, but that's against the regulations. I know for a fact James Hogan had on the show, in the state of Virginia, you're not allowed to gain more than 10 pounds over the contract weight. That's the rule. So let's say both guys, I can't remember what the weight was. Let's say both guys were 135. So one guy went down to 133. He didn't gain weight. The other guy went up to 145. They were like, oh, you're more than 10 pounds apart. You can't fight to cancel the fight. I think the guy sold 100 tickets, all right, to cancel the fight. But that's not what the regulations say.
I thought, wait a minute. It's supposed to be within a 10-pound parameter. Isn't that correct?
10 pounds above the contract weight.
Right.
Not more than 10 pounds of separation the next day. See, right. They just looked at the reg and just did something with it and just canceled the fight. I mean, those types of things have to stop. That 8-43 guy that just beat a 20-2 guy versus that 4-0, that would get, or 12-3, excuse me, that would get approved. Pat Pinella would approve it. Pat's a strict commissioner. I like Pat, though, because he calls it down the middle. It's always consistent.
Right.
Greg Sir, very strict commissioner. He would do it, too. And Joe Jones versus Jerry Forrest not getting approved. 22-4 versus 12-4 for IBF World Title Eliminator. That's getting approved everywhere in the country except for the state of Virginia.
Wow.
But Mark DiTillio and Mac McFadden have proven that they're incompetent. They have no idea what they're doing. I would even go as far to say, based off the bias that they've shown, allowing what happened in Gretna, it was 4 fights that averaged 1.2 rounds per fight. Atrocious show. You're talking about a guy and me, a matchmaker, that's matched 24 fights in the state of Virginia on my shows. There was 4 draws on those, 4 split decisions. There's only been 4 knockouts ever in the first round out of the 24. I mean, that's the epitome of excellent matchmaking. And then they allow a show that averages 1.2 rounds a fight. I mean, it's ridiculous. So Mac McFadden and Mark DiTillio have a clear bias towards me and James Hogan, who puts on great shows. I mean, James has got Jerry Forrest. I think he used to have Manny Taylor. This guy matches some of the top fighters in the world. They ran Lou DiBella out of Richmond. Lou DiBella is a world-class promoter, had an IBF sanctioned fight. They ran it out. I mean, it is ridiculous. I would go as far to say I would want to make sure Mark DiTillio and Mac McFadden not only are not in a role of approving or disapproving bouts, but they have shown a clear bias towards people and their livelihoods. Chris Rollins has caused damage. He never canceled a show. They crushed his show. It's caused irreparable damages to him and his reputation. Jerry Forrest had a 6-figure fight, lost the fight because they wouldn't approve it. That's caused damages to him. There's no telling what Joe Jones was getting paid to fight him. That's caused damages. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The stuff that they've done to James Hogan, absurd. These men, not only should they not be approving or disapproving bouts, they should not be close to the ring in the state of Virginia. They should not be judges, referees, or inspectors. These people are horrible. They have a vendetta to crush boxing in Virginia, and I will not stop. I will not stop through political channels, through legal channels. These guys aren't going to – look, James Hogan went to the show in Gretna after they crushed his show. Like, he got the show off. They crushed it. He went down there, and two people dove on the ground. One guy showed up in swimming trunks to the fight. One of the other fighters, it was a female fight. And like I said, this is nothing against the fighters that won those bouts. They did their job, okay? They did their job. They showed up. They were ready to fight. But the commission did not do their due diligence. The woman fight, the woman had her 3-year-old son in the corner. Are you kidding me? This is atrocious. They're talking about cleaning up boxing in Virginia. They got this trash happening. Yeah, see, look. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And Chris was fighting a 6-8 guy for a regional title. They wouldn't allow that fight.
Was it because he was part of the promotion, or?
Oh, so Mark even accused me, Ronnie Glass. Me and Ronnie Glass had a 10-round fight. I think I beat him 7-3. Great fight. Great fight. It's on YouTube. You can watch it. When I called Mark, I was talking to him about some fights, and he accused me of carrying him in that fight. Mark also accused me of carrying Chris Fitzpatrick. He beat me in a 10-round split decision, and then I think it was 6 years later I fought him, and I beat him in a 10-round split decision. That's a hell of a carry. He accused me of carrying him. So I mean,
sounds like a tough fight to me.
So I mean, what are they trying to prove? And also, I have an email that I sent to them that Thursday, and I emailed the commission, the boxing at DPR, Kathleen Nospitz, and Bonnie Davis, Mark DiTillio, all of them. First, I had a phone conversation. It was a video chat with all of them. I told them both of those fights were going to go less than 30 seconds. They were going to take dives. Mark laughed at me. He said he knew what he was doing. He was the expert. He chuckled. So I sent an email that Thursday letting them know. So it was time-stamped that these two people should not be approved. I had done my due diligence in checking them. One fight was 50 seconds. The other one was like 32.
Wow.
One of them didn't even get hit. So Kate calls me, Scott, how did you know? How did you know? Well, first off, I seen the guy was from Wilson, so I called down to Skip. Skip, does this guy train, or is he one of the guys that shows up for $400? Well, Scott, you know how it is. This guy's showing up for $400. Well, that's easy enough. This guy's going to dive on the ground. All right, the woman fought for Billy Blea. She was knocked out in like 12 seconds or something. Call Billy. Hey, Billy, did this girl legit get hit, or did she lay down for money? Oh, Scott, it was horrible. I'll never have her again. 2 phone calls. I knew that the fight would be an embarrassment. I emailed the commission to let them know it was an embarrassment. Fight still happened. Do you know who Doug Beavers is, Angel?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what Doug Beavers got in trouble for?
No.
The federal indictments, and I think it was $300,000 of fines, were for fixing fights. Wow. So if the Department of Regulation knew, if Mark DiTilio knew that these 2 fighters were indeed going to dive on the ground, and it was notified multiple times, and then those fighters dove on the ground, I'm pretty sure you could consider that fixing a fight. I mean, I'm pissed off. I'm sure you can tell I'm pissed off.
I can see it in you, man. And look, I'm peaceful.
Look, hey, I know deep down you're pissed off too, though, because it's an embarrassment.
It is an embarrassment because obviously I'm an official and stuff like that, but I don't really get into all that. Because I have to remain neutral. But I just want to see the sports in Virginia thrive. Virginia is a mecca for combat sports, and you want the right things happening in Virginia. You want the right things happening in Virginia. You want fighters taken care of, promotions taken care of, everything done right, matches approved that should be approved. So yeah, I mean, it is upsetting, and I can see that you're very upset about it.
When you see a guy that's 12-4 that's dedicated his life to boxing, and the guy's 22-4 that's dedicated his life to boxing, I mean, these guys are full-time fighters.
That's a match you make.
Yeah, it took them forever to sludge out of that. That fight
gets
made, but then you got a guy that shows up in, Chuck Taylors and swimming trunks, and it's his second fight, and it's the second time he's ever had boxing gloves on, and that fight gets approved. So I mean, these are the type
of like who's that guy fighting? First of all, the guy shouldn't be as somebody that's.
Well, he's fighting a 3-0 guy that had 40 amateur fights.
Right. It's okay, but again, if that's a fight that you make, why are you not questioning the guy? He's coming in swim trunks and Chuck Taylors. That fight should have been stopped right then and there, and the guy and whoever was in charge should have said, "Hey."
Well, see, I don't think it should have ever got to that point, because as soon as you see, it's like what I would do. So, I mean, I do know who Skip is.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, we know what Skip. Now, Skip's a world-class cut man. He's got some great fighters. I think Kelvin King originally came from there. Jamar Freeman. There's been some great fighters from Wilson, North Carolina. But if you go to BoxRec and you look at Wilson, North Carolina, there's no place with a greater proliferation of fights, not even Las Vegas fighters, than from Wilson. The only difference is when you go to Wilson, there might be 300 fighters, and all 300 of them have never made it out of the first round. So the way that we stop this on the lower levels, 5-round fights, 4-round fights, and guys up to 5-0 might be fighting these types of guys. It comes down to a game effort from the opponent.
I'm writing this down as you're speaking this.
That's fine. What I would do is I would call Skip and say, Skip, I know this is your guy. I'm not going to let him in the state of Virginia unless you're licensed in the state of Virginia. The reason you have to have him licensed is because then the Virginia DPOR has jurisdiction over him. And you tell him, if I feel like this guy does not give a game effort, I'm suspending you for a year, and I'm going to put.
Looks like we lost you, Scott. I don't know what happened here, but it looks like we lost Scott here. Scott, check your phone. You probably your battery probably died, or there he is.
Hang up. You hang up.
There we go. No, you. But nah,
I would just. But what I'm saying is, I would just put the onus on Skip and suspend him. I mean, that just makes the most sense, and just let the other. Like, look, Pennsylvania doesn't even allow people from Wilson, North Carolina, to come to the state.
Wow.
So I mean,
why is that? Because of just the amount of fighters that come out of there that are just
going to be just. Have you ever seen that fight that was on ESPN where they were making a joke about the guy should have never belonged on there?
Which one? There was several.
Oh, no. This guy, trust me, he'd never had boxing gloves on. So Skip went through all these channels, got the guy federal ID'd somewhere else. Now, look, Skip's just hustling. I like Skip. I do. But I wouldn't allow that in my state. Now, look, there was some fights down in South Carolina that I was on. There was probably 3 Skip fighters. One guy, I would suspend him for life. Lack of skills I'd put next to him on the suspension. But the other 2 guys, they showed up. They gave game efforts. I think one made it into the 3rd round with the guy that was like 2-0. So I mean, that's all you can ask for. You can't deny the guy to make a living. But you're not. I love the sport of boxing too much to have some guy come in the ring and a guy throw a jab and then the dude like grabs his throat or his head and dives on the ground. I mean, it's just.
Is that something like where you go to mixed martial arts shows, for instance, and okay, like there's 14 fights on a mixed martial arts card. You have set up 7 of them that are really good fights, and then the other 7 are just trash fights.
The great thing about an MMA fight compared to a boxing fight, if there's a mismatch, is there I think the word's propensity for the MMA fight to end rapidly and violently in the mismatch. And, oftentimes, I had my guy Owen Hilton. He may have been in a mismatch. We'll never know because he hit the guy and knocked him out cold, and the guy bent over backwards and broke his foot violently.
Shout out to Owen Hilton, man. Yeah, we had him on the show.
So it was instantly over, the fight. But sometimes in boxing matches, it doesn't come to a conclusion quite as rapidly. That guy might be in the ring for 1 minute, 2 minutes, a whole round. And you see the lack of skills. And it's just, I just don't want people seeing that and thinking it's boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at.
I mean, I get it, man. And that's why we're here. That's why we're talking to you, man. You've been around the game for a long time. You know the game in Virginia. You've dealt with the commissioners.
What happened to your co-host?
I don't know. He never showed back up. He was probably. I'm going to be honest with you. He's been at work since 5 this morning, so I wouldn't be surprised he just took the night off. He's exhausted. So, they're either here or there. I have to be here. It doesn't matter how the show runs. As long as I'm here, the show has to go forward. So,
by the way, I see that Merino jersey. You take your Dolphins pretty serious, don't you?
Man, come on, man. What does that say?
I see you. I see you on Sundays.
Hey, bro, you see how I'm dressed up? I don't sugarcoat it. And besides, this is a Miami-based show. So shout out to the Miami Sports Music, man. All the Dolph fans that are watching, because I know there's several of y'all. I thought I saw AB up there earlier. He's a big combat sports fan.
Who you got on next after me?
We were supposed to have Brandon Lambert actually 10 minutes ago. I don't think he's coming on. BKFC, Brandon Lambert. You tell these guys, and we hope for the best, but you never know if they don't come on or not.
I got too much integrity for that.
And I appreciate that about you. And every fighter that I've had that have been scheduled to come on have mostly come on. It's just once in a while I'll get somebody that can't make the show last second or something happens, and it is what it is. But yeah, we'll hope to get Brandon Lambert on here again. Keith Bell's coming on right after you.
Is he from West Virginia?
No, he's a Virginia boy, man. He fights out of Raleigh, North Carolina now.
Okay.
But he is from Virginia. The guy has fought. I mean, hey, Keith, if you're watching, man, you're welcome to get ready to come on anytime soon. I know you wanted to get on a little earlier. So here we are. But Keith, he's originally from Newport News.
Okay. I know what I was thinking about.
Big heavyweight guy.
Keith Barr.
Yeah, big heavyweight guy. Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, I'm not fighting him.
No, this is a big heavyweight guy, man. He's been around the game for a while as well, mixed martial arts. Has multiple titles from different, promotions and stuff. Has fought for the CFFC. Has fought Shogun. Was a Shogun heavyweight champion. Has fought in Bellator. Has fought in a lot of different shows, man, and he's got some big news too coming up. So,
gotcha. Well, God, I hope he ain't my surprise opponent. Well, look, Angel, I'm about to get off here. I got to go watch this new Joe Exotic documentary. But
is it on yet?
Yeah, it came out today.
Oh, I know what I'm watching after this.
But listen, make sure you fill out that application now.
Done, buddy. Did it today.
All right, Angel. I'll talk to you later.
Turned it in today. Hey, Scott, thanks for coming in, man. Tell everybody where they can find you again. Thanks for tuning in and talking to us.
Yeah,
man.
Scott Cujo Sigmon on Instagram, Scott Cujo Sigmon on Facebook, and November 27th, you can buy it through Fight TV, the Triller pay-per-view. I'll be fighting, sadly, the best guy on the card, the Russian, Albert Tumanov.
Well, look, Scott, we wish you well, man. We know you're going to represent VA to the fullest, man, and do your thing and continue to just be, a dominant force in combat sports for Virginia, man. And a pioneer for us, man. Really, we thank you as you continue to just set high tones, man, as going from fighting the best in boxing to going to this Triller event and just doing well, man.
Thank you, Angel. I appreciate you.
I'll see you soon, Scott. We'll talk again soon. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Scott Cujo Sigmon. We thank him for coming on. Great guy. As you can see, a lot of knowledge. The guy knows his stuff, man. Very knowledgeable. Has been around the game for a long time here in Virginia combat sports. But it's just been around combat sports in general for a long time. Has fought the likes of Kelly Pavlik, Roy Jones Jr., has made the big pay-per-view, big money, and has been there and done that, man, and has fought for Floyd Mayweather in his promotions and so on and so forth. The guy's just been around the game for a long time. And, we love him here in Virginia. We wish him well as he continues to be. He is one of the better boxers that's come out of Virginia, and we're thankful to have him, But let's give a shout out to everybody that's been on here, man. Eric Butler says Scott gets back in the gym. Yeah, no kidding. Thanks for tuning in, Eric. Brandon Mitchin says, I can feel it. No doubt. YNG Dawes says, I'm trying to get on this show one day. Hey, send me your info. Hit me up at Angel Ortiz on Facebook, at Angel Ortiz MMA on Instagram and Twitter. And or you can hit us up on here and we'll get back to you. But yeah, we'd love to have you come on. We definitely love to have you come on, Viking. We definitely love to have you come on, brother. So please hit me up, send me a DM, and we'll get you on the show. We'd love to have you. 434 way. Okay. Man. Let's see who else. Fico Rocket says the Rocket Combat stuff was terrible. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. That shirt this at Water Dog. Brandon, I don't know what you mean, brother. Did you mean something else to show this, or Cujo's my man, my hero? Brandon Mitchell's turning it in. Fico, ABAB. What's up, man? AB, you're right, brother. Max Holloway would be a good boxer too. I think he would. The guy throws over 100 punches per round. That shit's crazy. Like, who does that? So yeah, man, we got guys getting ready to come on here. I don't know what happened to my co-host. I am sending a message right now. I am sending a message right now to my next guest to make sure to see if I can get him on here real quick. Hey, but thanks for everybody tuning in, man. We've had a great show so far. Kind of went off. Again, my co-host couldn't. I don't know what happened to my co-host. He probably couldn't make it. But shout out to everybody that's tuning in so far. Again, if you get a chance, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. You can go, if you want to donate to the channel, there's a little $sign down there at the bottom. You can click that and it'll donate in the chat box. So, and all proceeds go to the channel and helping the channel grow. We continue to have great combat sports stuff on this show and talk to these great fighters and stuff like that, man. We've had some really, really good fighters on the show. You can check out the previous shows. We've had some great fighters, man. Former UFC fighters, current UFC fighters, guys that have been on the card for a long, long time. And they've been fighting for a while as well. So please, yeah, tune in, guys. Tune in and let's see what we have here. Vikin Bastajian, what's up, brother? Thanks for tuning in. What's up? Yeah, absolutely, man. Thanks for tuning in. You just missed Scott Cujo. I don't know if you were able to watch his interview. It was great, but once this thing is over, you can go back and watch it. I'm right now waiting on my next guy to come on, but in the meantime, let's talk. Ask me any questions you want, guys. What fights are you excited to look forward to? The state of boxing, the state of mixed martial arts, the state of Muay Thai, kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, whatever, man. Let's talk combat sports. Come on, and let's talk some combat sports. Ask any questions you like. But again, we just had Scott Cujo on, and it was a great conversation with him. He kept it real, spoke some truth, and it's always good when these fighters just speak their minds and speak the truth, So let's see. Keith Bell's getting ready to come on here. It's time. Who else? I believe if you hear the barking in the background, I apologize. That is my dogs going crazy. They are barking at whoever just came through the door. I'm guessing it was my wife. So again, we got some great fight cards coming up here. Let's see. Again, the fight this weekend for the UFC, you got Caitlin Vieira versus Miesha Tate, Michael Chiesa versus Sean Brady, Rainey Yaya versus Kyung Ho Kang, Joanne Calderwood versus Tyler Santos, and Davey Grant versus Adrian Yanez. This is a great fight card, man, so far. Really, really good fight card. I like Armenian UFC. You mean you like Armenian? Oh, you like the fighters from the UFC that are Armenian, Vicken? Or do you just prefer Armenian mixed martial arts? And don't forget, also on Saturday, we got the big top-ranked boxing match. Crawford versus Porter, man. Terrence Bud Crawford defends his WBO welterweight world title, an unbeaten record against two-time welterweight champion and the WBO #1 contender, Showtime Sean Porter. The prelims start at 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, and the main card is on ESPN Plus as well, and it's a pay-per-view. So if you're looking to have two great boxers, man, you want to watch two boxers in their prime at the top of their game, you definitely want to tune in to the Terrence Crawford, Sean Porter boxing match. And that's, again, the prelims for that start at 7 p.m. and the main card starts at 9. The prelims for the UFC card start at 3 p.m. and the main card starts at 6 p.m. And that's also on ESPN Plus. So if you don't have ESPN Plus, you should subscribe to ESPN Plus, get the channel, and get ready to watch some great fights this weekend because there are a lot. And if you're in the Winchester area and you want to watch some fights live, tune in to Rocket Combat Sports. Just go to the Winchester Sportsplex. You can get tickets at the gate. You can also get tickets online prior to that. Just go on to the Rocket Combat Sports page on Facebook. I believe they have a website as well. Check them out. Tell them I sent you. They're going to go ahead and hook you up with tickets for the fights over there at the Winchester Sportsplex. All right? Well, look, without further ado, I'm going to bring on our next guest. I got my man, 50 grand, from outside of Raleigh, North Carolina, my man, Keith Bad News Bell. What's up, Keith? Welcome to the show.
There he is. What's up, brother? How are you doing?
I'm good. You got a little bit of an echo. You might want to turn down the volume on your thing there.
Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm new to this. I've never done this before.
It's quite all right.
Obviously, I've done this before. All right. Yep. How about now?
That sounds a little bit better.
Okay, let's work with that. I just want. Yeah, we just moved to a new townhouse, so there's a lot of room in here, but only a bed and stuff leaning up against the walls. So what's going on, Angel?
What's up, Keith, man? Welcome to the show. Finally got you on the show.
Finally. Been down to North Carolina, I think, like 10 times, and this is the only time I see you via the net.
Oh, you can hold that against me, aren't you?
I will.
All right. I promise you, when I get down to Raleigh, I'll stop by your gym.
Please.
I'll let you punch me in the gut, and we can go from there, my friend. We can call it even, maybe go grab some coffee and something to eat after.
Yes, sir.
But look, man, for those of y'all that don't know, Keith Bad News Bell is a heavyweight pro fighter, originally out of the Virginia area, fights out of Raleigh, North Carolina now. I believe he lives down there as well. Great guy, has been in the game a long time, has had a lot of fights, and has fought for some of the top promotions on the East Coast as well as out west. So,
right there. Let me see. What is that? I have the title holder here. My last fight was here. It's for the CFFC. And the CES. Wait, wrong side.
There you go. You got the right side right there.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that's right. He's fought for CFFC. Shout out to the regional circuit, man. The CFFCs and the Shogun fights. Great promotions. If you have not checked them out, man, they have great fights. I think CFFC has a card coming up. Shogun, I don't believe, has a card till next year. But they will be coming back. But yeah, and then of course my show, which we'd love to have you come on at some point there and fight for a title, my man, is Fire Nights Fighting Championships will be returning next year. So yeah, so Keith, what's going on, brother? What's the latest?
Not much, man. Like I said, we just moved from downtown Raleigh, just a couple exits out, and got a new townhome. And my fiance Tracy and I were getting married 11/12/22. Yeah.
Congratulations, my friend.
Yes, sir. And I've been back in the gym. You know, I have some things potentially coming up in the future here. And you know, it's just let me back up.
I know what it is.
It's so hard to get ready.
I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to say nothing.
I know.
But I know that it's big, and I'm excited for you, my friend. I know. Long deserved.
Yes, sir. And you know, just trying to get my body prepped back up to where it was on the 2019 November. You know what I mean? And it's tough to get back to that because there's no contract. You're just working out just to work out. And, you know, I have a pretty good job, and if I never fought again, it'd be okay. But the opportunity that potentially could be ahead of us here could, it's having me come up out of the cave at least one more time.
So we may potentially see that bad news.
Yes, sir.
Come back and step back into that cage again.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
Yeah,
I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I love seeing, man. I love watching you fight. I think you're awesome. You know, a lot of power. I think that one of my favorite fights I watched you fight was there's a guy that looked like a tree that stood well over you, had a long ass reach, threw his arms up in your face, and you just kind of looked at him and laughed. Then not even a minute into the first round of that fight, you ended up knocking the guy out cold.
It was a minute 10, but the thing is, you got it. You're the ref, you know. He was starting. And it was awesome. It was awesome, Mr. Kevin McDonald, as you know. Yeah. Great guy, great hair.
He said great hair.
Every time I fought for the CES, which was the third time at that time. Tyler King is his name. I don't care. Tell him I said it. He was talking a lot of trash on Twitter, and ended up being one of the 2017 knockouts of the year on Axis. But yeah, no, great organization with those guys up there. Yeah, he was a trash talker, but it was.
I like when that Insta Karma hits, man.
It's the karma.
It's the karma.
But no, man, that was a great time, great show. Pat and them up there, Pat and oh my God, I can't think of it. But Birchfield and Birchfield, those are great guys. They're up there. They're up there because I fought for Bellator as well, and those guys were awesome as well. And all those reps there. Those guys were awesome. The promotion was awesome. It was different. I had the OG Everlast gloves. And they have like the solid blue and red that I wanted so bad, but yeah, no, that was that's them. And then I think who did I fight for? Jesus, I feel like I'm getting old. I need to take my Metamucil. My alarm's going to go off in a minute. With Bellator as well, but then with Shogun's promotion, they carried a bigger crowd than the CES and CFFC because they fought downtown Baltimore at the Royal Farms Arena. Yeah. And beat that guy up too. and nobody wanted to challenge for the belt. So it just sits in my gym collecting dust. Use a selling
you're
tactic.
Technically the current Shogun heavyweight champion.
Oh yeah. If you look at my Instagram, does not lie. I called them out and they said I wasn't a ticket seller, so you're not going to have me back up there probably. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. I have a nice little belt from y'all, so appreciate it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. John Rollo, we need to bring him back, man. If you're listening, we need to bring him back. We got to have him back on the card. We got to bring back Shogun and have a great fight up there in Baltimore, man, because they do. Shogun throws a great fight. John Rollo's a great guy. All those guys throw a great show, man.
Don't get me wrong. Awesome promotion. Everything was set up for you. It was, they put us in a hotel directly across the street, and everything was seamless. I just don't like how I have to beg for fights when I have the belt.
Well, I mean, you are a scary dude to fight, though. I see why a lot of guys want to back out.
Well, the last time I saw you. Wait, was it the last time I saw you? Oh, is my phone falling down? I'm tripping. The last time I saw you, I elbowed a guy, I think, 100 consecutive times, and I let him up, and he hit me several times because he was probably brain dead, and I was exhausted. And So you come down to North Carolina 5 times, 10, 15 times, don't see me. Last time I saw you, I was getting beat up, and I agreed to do your show. That shows love. That's a lot of love for you, Eagle.
Hey, come on, man. Look, hey, Keith, I love you, brother. You're the best. You're the best. So
no,
when I come down to gym, just don't beat me up, all right?
Oh no. I'll show you around Raleigh. There's a couple barbecue places we can go.
Man. Absolutely.
I can't do anything until after January, but as far as eating what I want to, because I'm teetering on misery right now and trying to eat.
Hey, you gotta get back. You gotta get that body back to where it was, man.
Yes, sir.
That tempo back. Because you got something big getting ready to happen. So, yeah, man, we want to see. Hey, I truly hope the best. But while I have you, some people have been asking me messages. What Scott was talking about earlier with the changes in the gloves. Here's what I'm talking about. So people don't know, but I can tell you exactly. This is a 4-ounce glove. This is a Fire and Ice Fighting Championship 4-ounce glove. All right, nice leather 4-ounce glove. It's light, very light. This is what guys like Keith fight in. 4-ounce gloves, big, right? This is a pro boxing glove. I believe it's 10 ounces. All right, this is the pro boxing glove. All right, everybody can see that. This is a sparring glove. Do people see the difference? Those of y'all that are watching that don't know. Do you see the difference? It's 16 ounces. Do you see the difference in sizes of gloves? So when people are sparring, they're usually wearing this. Heavyweights wear them bigger. They go to 18s, maybe even 24s. But this is what most people spar in, is 16-ounce gloves. This is a standard pro glove. This is a standard pro MMA glove. Look at the difference, people. All right? So some of these guys that you're watching on this show that fight in this stuff, this is what they get hit with. It's not fun.
No.
so
not at all.
Yeah. So I mean, and then they get nice shiny belts like the one behind me, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, this is what these guys wear, and that's what they train. People were asking me, I had to answer. There you have it. But so Keith, man, you've been training for a while. You've been fighting. What's the best show you've ever fought at? Now you fought at LFA. Did you fight at LFA?
No, but I did call out Derek Lewis on Twitter when he was the champion there, and I didn't get a response. The best promotion, I think, man, Mr. Haydick and them would hate me if I didn't say theirs, but they did set me up in my hometown. Well, they didn't. Okay, it makes it sound like it's set up.
All right, let me get the best promotion.
It was in my hometown in a hangar. In literally where I went, maybe 3 miles away from where I went to high school, and in a hangar, fight for the troops. That's why, obviously,
I was there.
That has to be, as far as professionalism.
That was LFA. Yeah, that was LFA.
No. That was CFFC. No, the LFA was there. You were there for that.
I was there for that. Yeah, I read that fight show.
the CFFC came back and then did it in the same hangar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because you ref the fight with my homeboy that matter of fact from the MMA Institute.
There you go, rocking the MMA.
That hit old boy with the left hook, it dropped him, and like
shout out to
not Ali. What those? He was on Sports Center.
Oh yeah, Abu Ali.
Oh yes,
the Red Scorpion. Shout out to the Red Scorpion and MMA Institute, man.
Yeah,
Abu Ali. That was the ESPN Fight of the Year.
And it was top 5 on Sports Center.
Navy SEAL, and ended up knocking the Navy SEAL guy out. I mean, they almost knocked each other out, to be honest with you. It was going back and forth.
Oh, I know.
Abu Ali landed a nasty left hook. Check left and dropped him. And I couldn't get to him fast enough to try to stop him.
It was wild. That was wild. And,
a lot of people don't know. I actually trained. I don't know if you can see that.
There he is.
Old school MMA Institute, man. Shout out to those guys over there, Rick McCoy.
Rick, what up?
Guys down there at MMA Institute.
Every time I see Rick, I always call him the Pat Riley of MMA because nobody leads more people of color to the promised land than Rick.
Ain't that the truth, my friend? Ain't that the truth? Outside of Master Lloyd Irvin and Rick McCoy, who have the most black and brown fighters fighting out of any gym.
Bro, yeah, when I fought the CFFC at back on the CFFC 80, it was Inge County fought William Knight that night, and when they were doing the stare downs and all that stuff with the cameras, I was so physically intimidated, like because it was kind of cool. It was November, right? It was kind of cool in the hangar there, and so they had their shirts off, and they could have easily walked onto any NFL team. I told them, I was like, "Can y'all put on some sleeves?" Like I put on my hoodie. You know what I mean? Those two guys are massive, and they're both obviously in the next level right now.
Right.
And you wish they could have walked into Miami because 3-7 isn't looking too good. But they easily could have walked into any NFL team. Those two guys. And Inge County, right? That's how you pronounce the last name.
I mean, we'll take anybody right now. If they can block.
What's that? No.
Can you block?
Really.
Can you block? I just want to know if you can play offensive line. If you can play offensive line, I'm gonna send your name down to the Miami Dolphins.
I was left tackle in high school, but the game's advanced a bit. No, but y'all did pull up a good game against Baltimore this past. What was that? Was it Thursday night? Was it Sunday night?
Thursday night, baby. Prime time. Y'all
hey, look, my Niners pulled it off too.
Your Niners pulled it off on
prime
time.
They didn't pull anything off. They beat the brakes off the Rams. I'm trying to be off the brakes.
They did, man.
But yeah, man, that was.
This went from a combat sports show to football. Let's go.
Hey, look. If we know, everybody knows that you're arguably one of the best referees.
What's up, my girl?
Yeah, you're arguably one of the best referees that I've seen. You've been there from amateur shows to your own, being a partner in your own promotion, and you've been, you've walked people out of the UFC, and that's one thing that's eluded me. Is that show, and with the same way. I'm sorry, my server's here, and well, you know what? Hold on a second. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, I love it.
See, so I told you till I get the contract.
Hey man,
but anyway, but no, so. No, you've done it from the bottom to the top, and that's the one thing. Like you know Larry Carter, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Larry Carter. I trained with him when he was a white belt. Now he's like I don't know if he's got a stripe on his black belt or not, but I've seen him since I began training. Right? We were both white belts. I'm still a white belt, but don't get it twisted. Like he's a black belt now, and I've watched him.
Technically, I'm still a white belt too.
No, but that's fine. Like you have any idea how many black belts I've knocked out unconscious? So that's fine.
I roll with black belts and brown belts all the time. So shout out to guys up here in MMA, man. and Fluffy BJJ. But yeah, I get it.
So anyway, so Larry, I've known him since the same with you. Like so Larry, like when I started before my first amateur fight, white belt, started refereeing, and then he's walking people out, and then he actually referees a UFC fight. UFC Raleigh was his first one.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, no matter how you get in that cage, like just get in there. Like I would love to be in the commission, but unfortunately North Carolina is being kind of funny right now. I don't think do we even have a commission yet?
Come be a Virginia official, man. We need. Listen, I'm a big proponent of this, and I'll say this out loud right now for the whole world to hear. I think more fighters, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I think more fighters should become referees in combat sports.
Yeah.
Whether it's boxing, mixed martial arts, kickboxing, Muay Thai. If you do any type of combat sport and you have competed, we need more officials. Whether it's judging, reffing, we need you. The only thing we ask is that you take the officials and judging and refereeing classes, and you can do that. Every state commission has a training every year, once a year or twice a year. Some do it twice a year. You can also go to ABC, the Association of Boxing Commission, or the Association of Combat Sports Commission, and they can take their training course. But that's all you need, because you know the sport better than somebody walking off the street and becoming a judge or a referee.
Yeah, because when you get go ahead.
I think we need more guys. So whenever you're done with fighting, my friend, come train. Come join us with Amateur Sanctioning Body at VCSS. Come train with us over at Virginia, man, at Virginia, a DPOR, and become an official, because God knows we need more fighters to become officials.
No, I know. But I think, everything I do, I always want to be the best. And I've met Big Dan.
I love Big Dan. He's a buddy of mine. I love Big Dan.
Yeah, he's an awesome, super nice guy.
That's right, Christina. Shout out to you.
Literally, when he tells you to stop, you stop. Where he will yeet you across the cage, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, you see how I am, man. I'm a little dude.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, no, I know.
I let him know. It's time.
I know, facts. Yeah, so I know you pushed an opponent off of me before, but
Stop.
But yeah, no, but
you got tired. You got tired.
I got tired of elbowing. That's what I did. But look, but I don't. I'm obviously just messing with you, because that was literally 2013, 8 years ago. Can you believe that?
Wow, don't remind me.
8.
I'm 46, right? I retired from fighting in 2015. I think you were on the same card I was for my last pro fight too, which was another.
No. I didn't turn. No.
It was a strike off.
What was your last pro fight? Where?
2015 strike off in Fairfax, Virginia. I fought David Flippy Reese.
I fought in strike off.
Yeah, you fought in strike off. And I think it was the same card. I'm pretty sure it was.
No, you were the referee for that.
No, that was another strike off.
No, listen. You refereed me and Jeff Blakely.
Yeah, Jeff Blakely, but that was a different strike off event.
Okay, no, but that was the only time I fought up there.
Oh, okay.
I never fought up there. No. But no, that. God.
I thought you fought on. I apologize. I thought you fought on the same card I was on, which was my last fight card show. No,
I was already at that time. I'd already started on the CESs and the CFSCs and fighting for their titles, and those promotions are so tough and so randomly in the most random places, like Lincoln, Rhode Island. Shout out to Birchfield and them. But good Lord, no, that was awesome. Luckily, my fiance is from New Hampshire and a New England fan. So you might or might not like her. When she heard you talking to Cujo, she was like, "That doesn't sound like him. Like, that was the same guy." I was like, No. I was like, "Babe, that's not the guy I fought. That's the guy." Because the guy that I fought sounded like he was brain dead after that fight. I was like, it was a little Puerto Rican guy.
It wasn't me. I know I'm little, and I know I'm Puerto Rican. I mean, I might take this personal, but go ahead. Let's go.
No. I was like, no. It wasn't. She wasn't making fun. She just thought you were. Your beard wasn't as brilliant as it is now.
As majestic as it is right now. It's okay to say. It's okay to say, my brother. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So, hey, look, you've been in the game for a long time. You've been fighting for a long time. What's one of your most? First of all, I want to give a shout out, Christina Salam. I see you, girl. Thanks for tuning in. Much love to you, Ma. Thanks for tuning in and showing your love. What was one of your most memorable fights? Aside from that beautiful knockout, what was one of your most memorable fights? What's a fight that I tell you what, what's a fight that you wish you could take back?
Take back?
Yeah.
Well, probably one of the 8 losses. Like any one of those will do. But the most memorable, I think it has to be a span of 2 different fights, because I was 2-0, and then I lost to your training partners. I think you had like some kind of coup against me. Johnny Curtis.
No coup against you.
Yeah. So anyway, look. See, I'm trying to figure it out.
You decided to fight
okay. So I haven't taken that much damage to put this together. I'm just putting it together now. Okay. So Johnny Curtis, I lost to him. I lost to So I lost to Johnny Curtis, right? And
God.
They gave him 6 minutes for blood time instead of the 5, and then he came back and beat me, right? And then right after that, I lost to Shelton Graves, who trains with Johnny Curtis and you.
Listen, I'm going to tell you how that happened. All right, so those two
Let me finish my thought. Look, so all you guys, all 3 of you train together, and you all didn't want me to succeed. Okay, well, we're all friends now. All right, now. So look, so after I lost to,
I'm never coming down to Raleigh. I'm never coming down to Raleigh. Never coming down to Raleigh, my friend.
No, look, so after that, so after being 5-0 as an amateur, 2-0 as a pro, the world's mine. I started taking things for granted, like training and all that, right? And I lost to Johnny, super tough guy. I've known him for years. And then lost to Shelton. And then the fight after that is a fight that I wouldn't take any of those losses back, because I figured it out. I thought I figured it out, And when I had to fight right, I fought Azuna Nyanwu, right? He was 6-0, coming off a Bellator win against another absolute monster. And I told myself, if I lost this fight, that would put me at 2-3, and then I'd be done. However, Zoo, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I said I'd never bring it up on camera, but you're probably not watching, because he's in Philly, and they're different. So I went there on a 2-fight losing streak after winning 7 fights in a row, right? 9 seconds in, head kick him, and then don't lose for the next 5 fights. And that, you know what I mean? So I think that is where, that's the fight that I think changed everything, because I won 5 in a row. And then on the way home from the 5th fight, which was in Richmond, the Richmond Rumble that Pete Hatcher put together.
Good old Pete Hatcher.
Yeah. On the ride home, he gave me a call and said, "Hey, man," I said, "You ready to take your shot?" I was like, and I was thinking, wait, I took a lot of shots on that night, but it was literally on the way home. They offered me to fight Bugoy Ivanov in Bellator. Nice. And I think that was like the most defining moment in my career, because I felt like I finally did it. Right? I thought that was like the absolute best that I was going to do. Right? But until I got to Bellator, and it beat him to death, and then he beat Fedor or something, and then he did something with Sambo, and he choked me out. Big deal. But leading up to that, I think that the last fight, that 2-fight back-to-back losses is what was probably like the most. I needed that. I needed to lose like that to come out and win, and then win 4 more, and then carry on. 4 more, and then get called up.
But just to even get called up, my friend, just to even get called up. I mean, you fought for one of the top 3 promotions in the world. In the world,
Mm-hmm.
How many people can say they did that? How many people can say that they walked out for Bellator? Let's be honest. I can't say that. Some of the fighters that have been on this show can't say that. We've had some guys on the UFC that have been on the show,
mm-hmm.
but we've, a lot of guys that we've had on the show can't say that they've walked the tunnel at Bellator. You can say that, my friend. You've been there. You've done that. You've got the t-shirt for it. You've accomplished it. I salute you, my friend. So, it's got to be something really cool that defines you as a fighter, that you've made a certain pinnacle. For me, it was fighting at Strikeoff, same promotion that you fought at. Locally, I was able to fight home, and it was a big promotion in Northern Virginia at the time, and so I was able to accomplish that. Just even being a professional fighter, being a pro athlete, it's just something that you aspire to accomplish. I set myself little goals. I was already old when I was fighting, so it was just one of those things that you leave it to the younger generation. But it helped me be a better referee. It helped me be a guy that I can talk to you now on a podcast. It helped me be able to run a promotion successfully and do all these other things. So I'm blessed for my journey in mixed martial arts. Even though it was a journeyman's journey, I'm blessed for it that I had. You have been at one of the highest echelons in combat sports. So that's got to be something that you can look back and be like, yo, my man. And then I went back and won a title at Shogun, which is a big promotion on the East Coast. And then you fought for CFFC, which is another big promotion on the East Coast.
Yeah, they're feeding people in one after another.
So the name Keith Bad News Bell is a big name in East Coast mixed martial arts at heavyweight, my friend.
Yes, sir.
You gotta love that.
Gotta be. Yeah, man. We see some things.
I see it. It's no easy feat. Anybody can say, "Oh, well, I fought this, I fought that." But how many guys actually can say, "Oh, well, shit, I fought at Bellator"? I'll wait. Because the point is, it's like my friend here says, Christina Salam, she says, real simple, dreams are attainable. It only takes perseverance. You are absolutely correct. You can fight dream. Yes, the big 3 letters avoid you right now. It doesn't mean it's over, because there's another 3 letters. There's always another big promotion.
So we're doing chasing dreams. That's
dreams, right? Yeah, man. So I need that shirt, by the way. Can I get one of those shirts?
Oh no, you know what? No, I'll have one. I have it. Actually, I had this made specifically to wear out. But no, I'll have this one out, because I knew you'd like it because of the camo in the middle. No, I will have one made for you. No doubt. And matter of fact,
I'm a size XL, my friend. XL.
Okay, no, we're driving. Hey, listen, we're driving to New Hampshire for Thanksgiving, and we were going to stop, and we're staying in Newport News, about 3.5 hours from here. So we have to go that way. I might just hand it to you if we can do that, because we have to go through Northern Virginia.
Are you coming up 95?
Yes.
I'll meet you in Fredericksburg in 95.
Okay. Let's do it.
I'll meet you in Fredericksburg in 95.
No, dead ass. I'll call my guy. I'll send a text to my guy tonight.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Okay, you said XL?
Depending on what day it is, you got to let me know ahead of time, though, because I work. So I own my own business. I'm out here pressure washing people's homes and shit. So you got to tell me when you're going to be there, so I can take that 2-hour drive from my house to meet you.
Yeah, we're leaving the 23rd to go up. Then we're staying the day before Thanksgiving. Then we're going to make our way that next morning. And so from Newport News to just on the other side of Richmond, a couple hours?
Yeah, so from the other side, so from Richmond, I'm going to say from Richmond, it's about an hour to Fredericksburg.
Okay.
Maybe an hour and 20 to Fredericksburg.
Okay.
From where I live to Fredericksburg is almost 2 hours.
Okay.
So So yeah, I mean, I'll meet you right there on 95, right off 95 in Fredericksburg.
Okay. Just make it happen.
3 exits. So probably the one closest to 17. So that's the one
Okay.
that we'll probably meet up.
I got you.
Yeah. And I'll pick up the shirt and I'll bring you something nice. My friend.
Hell yeah.
I just need your size. You're probably what? A medium? What are you wearing these days?
2
medium?
I'm forever going to be a 2X. Like, I feel so good. I mean, now that I'm getting back in shape, I'm looking at myself. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yeah, I feel good.
Yes, sir. No, I'm already light skinned, so I already have that complex.
Well, you should be able to sing then. You know, you light skinned brothers can sing. Most light skinned brothers can sing. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know.
Like the bars, right?
Yeah, my co-host is light skinned too, so I always give him shit. I tell him if he shaved his
bald head, who is it?
Huh?
Who is light skinned?
Light skinned is Mike Doman.
Oh yeah.
You know, the other big referee. But
where is he?
Well, he was supposed to be on today, but I guess he left me hanging tonight. You know, I'm gonna have to have that chat with him.
Okay.
So, can't leave me hanging. So we got a quick question here. Yeah, y'all talking Boxing Angel? Okay, so let me pull this up. Hey, Estefan, I appreciate you just now joining us. You missed it. We had Scott Cujo on earlier, and we were talking boxing. But yeah, he says y'all talking boxing Crawford Porter this weekend. What do you think? Who do you like in that fight? Sean Porter or Terrence Crawford?
Oh man, I wish this fight was like 3 years ago.
Ooh, that would have been a different fight. But go ahead.
Yeah, I know. It would have been a different fight, but I don't know. They're the same person kind. I mean, because I train at Jawbreaker Boxing, so I'm very, very well versed in like just listening to all the other pro boxers we have there talk about whoever. But Porter he's just more that, you know what I mean? Like he throws right down the middle. You know, he's not like old boy from DC who throws massive bombs. You know what I'm talking about? What the hell's his name? The guy who just knocked out
Gervonta Davis?
Gervonta, yeah.
He's from Baltimore, though. He's a B-more guy.
Baltimore, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. He's his thing is that's his straight down the middle is his winging, and he's great at that, you know, but Porter does throw right down the pipe. And
I mean, Porter's a tough guy. You know, he's the number one contender. You know, he's
I don't know.
Contender, but Terrence Bud Crawford is undefeated for a reason, my friend.
Right. Because they didn't fight each other 3 years ago.
Yeah. I like Crawford. I do.
That's going to be, God, what is that? That's going to be damn good. That's going to be damn good. Yeah. I mean, they're going to hit each other 1,000 times probably between each other, but I don't know. I can't see anybody getting sat down. You think?
I think in the 6th round, I think by the 6th or 7th round, somebody gets clipped.
Crawford sitting Porter down?
I think Porter has more power than Crawford. I think Crawford.
Okay.
But yeah, I think Terrence Crawford catches him coming in. I think he catches him coming in because Terrence Crawford's a great counterpuncher. I think he catches him coming in and and maybe takes, you know, there might be a 10-8 round. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
There might be a 10-8 round somewhere in the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, but we don't have a crystal ball. That's why they fight.
Nah, if I had that, I'd be able to predict everybody's fight future, and I'd be wealthy.
Yeah.
Instead of working out of my man cave here and hosting a podcast, you know, for the fans.
Love it.
Yeah. But so, like I said, man, state of mixed martial arts, end all, be all goal for you, my friend. Where do you want to be in 2022?
Man, a lot closer to, 2022. I think the state of MMA. Let's get past this. Let's see if this opportunity goes down, and we'll see what goes down after that, because it could lead to something. Could lead to something pretty big.
That's huge,
but oh yeah. But as far as what I got planned, man,
let me ask you this. Has ONE FC approached you? Because they've been approaching a lot of East Coast fighters lately. I mean, even they've talked to former UFC guys too, like Aaron Riley and some of these other guys. Has ONE FC approached you?
No, they haven't actually. I'm gonna have to hit you up after the show, but to explain some of this stuff before I have an opportunity to actually have a contract. Like what I mean, our ONE FC guys. I know China pays heavy.
Yeah.
You know, that side of the world pays heavy. I mean, I honestly don't think I've seen any heavyweight fights out there.
You know, I agree. I don't think I think the heaviest I've seen was light heavyweight.
Right. But I can't. Yeah, but
On Lasong was like the middleweight and light heavyweight champion for them for a long time.
Right, and he's been around forever.
Yeah. So I think they did have a heavyweight champion. Former UFC guy. God, that would be actually a good fight for you. I'm trying to think. What the heck was his name? Who is the former? Now I'm drawing a blank because it bothers me because he used to train at MMA Institute, this guy. And then he trained with Lloyd Irvin too. He's a Lloyd Irvin, former ONE FC heavyweight champion. That's how you do this shit.
Information from Wikipedia.
Yeah. It's bothering me because I can't really. So the current heavyweight champion is Arjan Bhullar. I guess he defeated.
Oh.
Now I'm drawing a blank.
Well, anyway,
Brandon the Truth Vera. How did I forget about that?
Brandon Vera. Oh, that's right. Out of Norfolk. Shout out to the Titans.
Yeah.
Norfolk. Where he ruffled. Damn. Really? That is right. Brandon Vera's been around for a minute.
I think that would have been a good fight for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, because he and Antoine Britt used to train together down in Denver.
Good old Antoine, man. Shout out to Antoine.
Yeah, it's my homeboy, Juggernaut.
That's all those guys, man. I came up with, so I love those dudes, man.
Hell yeah. Okay. So what's going on up there? And so I mean, outside of Lord Irvin and Rick, what's going on in Northern Virginia as far as Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland? Like who's the person to watch right now?
Well, we got a couple guys. Well, I coach over at 3 different gyms.
Right.
I coach over at Winchester Boxing. I coach over at Freedom MMA, and I coach over at Kaizen MMA. And those teams, they always got up and coming guys coming out, and whether it's boxing or mixed martial arts or even kickboxing, they got a lot of up and comers. Disciples Disciple MMA Academy has a lot of guys getting ready to fight at Lion Fights here soon, and I mean they got some studs on that. And then Rocket Combat Sports is happening here at the Winchester Sportsplex this Saturday. They got shout out to Chris Rollins. He's got a couple pro fighters that are coming up that they're somebody good to watch. And then of course Master Lloyd always got guys, and Rick's got guys that are at the highest levels that are getting ready to fight as well. So there's a lot of up and coming cards, man. But the main gyms were the ones that I announced. Really, I mean, you look at some of those are the top fighting gyms wise,
right?
Fight gym wise,
right.
There's a lot of gyms in the area, but fight wise with success, I just mentioned them. So there should be, you're looking at, it all depends, man. You get a lot of guys, and then of course we got American Top Team up here now, so they got a school up here now. So we're waiting to see what they're doing. Colton Smith's school, Enlisted 9.
Really?
Yeah, Colton Smith's got his school there too, and they're getting ready to do, and he's got some killers there, some too. So and of course you got Leo Dalla and all these other guys that are, that have guys. So we'll see, man. I mean, right now it's a little slow. VA Combat Sports just started picking up a little bit. I know some of the other states have been doing fights now for a little bit, but VA Combat Sports is just now starting to pick up, and we'll see where it goes in 2022, man. We should see some great fights coming up.
Hell yeah.
So, but again, man, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for coming on. I appreciate you coming on, not being too hard on me, my friend.
We're
coming down to Raleigh.
Trust me.
We're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna meet you in Fredericksburg. We're gonna switch shirts out, and man, again, I wish you all the best, Keith. I know you got some great news coming up, and I hope it pans out for you, my friend. You deserve it. You are a great fighter. It's always fun to watch you fight, and I look forward to what the future brings, man. Congratulations on your
thank you so much. Thank you for having me on, man.
And coming nuptials there. I appreciate you. Shout out to your lovely fiance, man, and wish you all the best to that, and many blessings, brother. Many blessings. I'm glad you're able to come on to my show. It's good talking to you.
Man. Hey, look, I'm about to go downstairs and finish the Man in the Arena with Tom Brady on ESPN Plus.
Okay. Okay. Who you like this weekend, man? Who you like this weekend? Who you like this weekend?
Who are y'all playing?
Well, we played the Jets, so that's a rival game. That's a heated rival game. Jet fans, Dolphin fans hate each other. Jet team, Dolphin team hate each other. New York, Miami hates each other. Let's go.
Fact. Yeah, no. Well, we're gonna beat up on Jacksonville this weekend. We just played. What was that? We just played Monday night. So we go down to Jacksonville, and then what does that say?
Crawford is a fight game fan's dream. He's got that wrestling background. He could be the best first legitimate title holder in boxing and MMA. All right, Estefan, I love you, but you're talking crazy.
All right, on that note, thank you, everybody.
Hey. Right?
Good night.
Estefan always coming with the craziness. Hey, listen, man. Estefan's a normal morning guy. He's a big Dolphins fan. He's a normal morning guy. But we're glad to have him on the show. So, bad news. Let everybody know where they can find you, my friend.
Oh, man. Keith Bad News Bell on Instagram. And that's pretty much it. I'm getting married now, so I don't do all that other funny shit.
Oh, the cop out.
The cop
out.
I'm old enough now where the kids are doing that's lit and fire. But no, it's Keith Bad News Bell on IG and Keith Bell on Facebook if people still do that, Meta, whatever it is now. And yeah, man, that's it.
Got you on Twitter? Are you not on Twitter?
No, man. I broke my phone in Vegas in June. And I couldn't get back into my Twitter or my Facebook. That's why I made a whole other new account. So I was like, whatever. So yeah, find me on Facebook, Instagram. I might have to start Twitter probably here in the next month or so. But yeah, I don't have it yet. But I'll update after. But after not after too long.
Well, Keith Bell, I appreciate you coming on, my man. Thanks again for everything. Many blessings to you. And I look forward to bringing you back on the show, man, after when you're ready to announce the big news.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'll let you know, and then we'll go ahead and make it happen. Thank you so much, Andy.
Hey, many blessings, Keith. Thanks for coming in. Peace.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Keith Bad News Bell, man. It was great to have him on. Great guy. He's fought some great guys. He's fought a couple of my teammates. So shout out to Johnny Curtis and Shelton Graves. But yeah, man, it was great having him. I love that guy. He's such a cool dude. And as you can see, very humble guy. And he's been around at the highest level, man. So you got to show him some love. But again, thanks for tuning in, guys. We had a great show tonight. Sorry we missed out that Brandon Lambert couldn't make it. Sorry that my co-host couldn't make it. Apparently, it was all on me tonight. So it is what it is. The show must go on, and we killed it. So again, thanks for everybody that tuned in. Estefan, Christina, Vicken, NYG Doss, Brendan Mitchin, Eric Botcher, Fit Go Now, aka the Viking, ABAB, Kirsten Bronstetter. Shout out to everybody, man, that really tuned in for the show and showed us some love today. Without y'all, the show wouldn't be existent. And shout out to A-Doll fans and Grizzlies. Hey, no jokes aside, man. And really big shout out to Stephen D and the whole Miami Sports Music, Solo D, everybody, man, and Miami Sports Music, Ali Doll fan. Shout out to all those guys. And don't forget to tune in to his show tomorrow morning at 8:30. He's got a great show lined up for Clock Blockers. And I hope everybody has a great night. Stay blessed. God bless you all. Again, shout out to the Beltrans. Fighting is for lovers. And you already know. Fins up. Fire Nice Combat Sports Podcast. We're out. Peace.